Good morning, everyone. So today we have a couple things you want to get done. My dad's been complaining to me that his Ford Explorer EcoBoost is making absolutely no power, nothing like it used to make. It's a lot louder than it usually is. It's just not driving as nice. So we're gonna check it out. We're gonna go take it for a drive, see like what we notice about it, then see if we could poke around and figure anything out, and then just see if that made any difference. So let's get to it. So here is his car. It's a 2019 Ford Explorer Platinum. Has a 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine. And honestly, I like this car. Let me check it out. This car is usually kind of a mess though, but yeah, it's a mess, but for the money, it has a lot of features. I mean, these seats, it's really dirty. He uses it for construction, honestly, but they're massage seats. The Range Rover, the Porsche, they don't even have massage seats, and this car, it's massage seats. I actually gotta get this car like professionally detailed. I washed it the other day, so it at least looks a little better than it was before. All down here, this is all like, I don't know if it's dirt or if it's actually kind of like the actual plastic is scuffed up. Like I said, a lot of like construction stuff gets put in this car, like bricks, wood, various saws and tools and machinery, but gets treated a little rough. But it has a lot of cargo room, you know, for what it is, and then it's also just a comfortable daily driver. Like I said, I'm gonna just start it up. It has massage seats and everything like that, but and heated and cooled seats, you know, and even the head unit, it's pretty good. It has Apple CarPlay. It's not a bad unit. I forgot what they call it, sync or something. Yeah, let's take this for a spin, see what we notice. And nice wood grain steering wheel as well. Because that lost a lot of power. It's a lot louder than it usually is. So let's check it out and see what we notice. So far, I haven't really noticed much. Just not really pushing it. So far, the car is still. Ooh, you guys hear that? That definitely sounded a little bit louder than usual. I'm not gonna lie, these cooled seats feel real good right now in the sun. This is full throttle right now. That was full throttle. Usually that car, 3.5 liter EcoBoost, I mean, that engine usually makes pretty good power. I think it's like 365 horsepower. At least that's what it was when he had Explorer Sport before. But that did not feel like 365 horsepower. I know it's a turbo engine, you probably have a little bit of lag, but I'm telling you, this car had a lot more kick to it before, and even in that small like little thing, I noticed it. But here's a road. Once we hit it, we'll be able to kind of do a better pull and assess the power situation. Alright, full throttle. Alright, that's 60. I don't know. It definitely did not seem as peppy as it usually is. And the car is definitely not usually that loud. That is much louder than it usually is. It kind of seems like the car is like struggling a bit, you know? Like it's straining to get up to speed. Damn. Sounds centuries. I'm not even going fast. Oh. That's 60. All that just to get to 60, back to 60. Something is definitely up with this car. But we're gonna figure out what it is. It's not really making power. I wonder if it has something to do with, is it not getting boost? Is it a transmission problem? Like, it seems like it's kicking down to gear though. So it doesn't seem like it'd be a transmission problem. That's much louder than it usually is. As far as what I think about the Eco with this car though, I'm actually more excited for the brand new Explorer, the 2020. Don't get me wrong, I like this car for what it is. I guess my two biggest pet peeves are, I mean, the ride's pretty good, but compared to like the suspension in the Macan, you can tell there's been a lot more. That was not even 60, that was like right before 60 too. But like I was saying, you can tell there's a lot more engineering that goes into the suspension of the Macan, especially over like when the roads get really rough. This car tends to kind of like, how should I say it? Over rough road, it tends to pitch back and forth, whereas the Macan, you could feel kind of like the suspension in all four corners working to even out and to just provide a more comfortable ride. But the ride isn't terrible on this. I mean, the ride itself is pretty comfortable, at least on like highways and whatnot. I mean, it's a good highway cruiser, and I guess that's what a lot of like the police fleet and stuff use it for, cruisers. But you know, it handles fairly okay for what it is. Power is good. Aside from right now, we're trying to figure that out. Creature comforts on the cabin, it's pretty good. And but my other pet peeve is the all-wheel drive system, which is front-wheel drive base, and you can kind of feel it being understeery. And you can, I remember the Explorer Sport, like sometimes you could kind of feel the torque steer as well. I haven't driven this one extensively, but it's pretty much the same thing, same engine. But I do like the car though. I have driven it a bit here and there. Utility wise too, it's a pretty good car. I mean, you could fit a lot of stuff in it. It's a, what is it, 1, 2, 5, 7 seater. The Explorer Sport we used to have is had like the middle seat in the back taken out. I forgot what they call those, but it's not a bad car. Let's actually throw it into sport. See if that makes any difference. Holy traffic. All that just to get to 40. Yeah, the car is definitely a lot louder than it used to be. And while I do like loud cars, and it is kind of cool, I know my dad doesn't really like it, and he just shocked at like how much power it lost, honestly. Why is there someone parked in the lane? I swear, people find the worst places to like make their parking spots. Literally on the road, on like a main road too. That's New York City for you. We're just gonna have to. There's no one even in the driver's seat of that car. bruh. There's a gas station right there too, I believe. Why don't you just pull in the gas? Anyway, I'm done ranting. No, I'm not. There's a gas station right there too. Why just not pull in the gas station rather than being parked on the road, bruh, with no driver in there? If I was a passenger in that car, I would have been like, bro, what are you doing? Just leave me. That's dangerous as hell for the passenger too. The driver dips and you're just sitting there on the road. Gosh. Jeez. That was 40. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't pull horribly. Still got some power to it, but comparative to what it used to be, you can definitely tell there's something missing. So the battery on my camera died, so I'm just gonna use my iPhone to see what we can figure out is wrong with the beast. So here it is, I got it open. This engine is kind of filthy, not gonna lie. A lot of leaves, I'll probably take that out for him. Damn. Pretty sure this bad boy should be here. He was like hanging out down there just now. I mean, that's usually more of an issue when there could be arcing and stuff against the metal on top, but anyway, rather be safe than sorry. But ooh, this would do it. That would do it right there. Can you see that? This thing is not even on. With it being disconnected, you're pretty much running just Eco without the boost. I'm gonna have to tighten this clamp up. I'm gonna go in the garage and get something, tighten that up. Hopefully that should do the trick. I think it's sitting properly on there now, actually. But before, you could see there was a huge gap. What the hell, man? How did that come loose? It's not like people are like digging around in here. Anyway, let me clear this leaves. Do them a little community service. Clear these leaves off. Bruh. Alright, never mind. I don't think you guys want to see me clear leaves off, so I'll just skip to when it's all cleared off. Community service, better. Cleared off the leaves, as you can see, at least most of them. Got that back on, sitting on here. Time to tighten that up. Should be nice and tight. Definitely seemed to get to 40 quickly, much quicker than it usually was previously, though. Thank you, sir. Here we go. Was it significantly quicker than before? Significantly? I wouldn't say significantly, honestly. It didn't seem, I mean, it was loud, it didn't seem as loud. Huh. Honestly, it's a little hard for me to tell how much of a difference there is. Might check back again after to see if there's any more hoses loose after this. This seems like there is a little bit more power, though. I would expect so too. While I do feel like it made a little bit of a difference, it wasn't as dramatic of a difference as I was expecting, honestly. Imagine he's like, He doesn't say anything about any difference, but all he just notices is less gas in the car. I don't know how that happened. Bruh, no wonder I felt the difference at first, but that's soon change. It's right back out. Honestly, it looks like it's more out than it was before. What the hell? Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but there was like an actual pop and it finally went in. See, before when I tightened it up, it was only halfway. I didn't realize it had to be all the way to the edge right here. We're finally in business. Let me just make sure it's like that all around. Yeah, seems like we're good here. Now just time to tighten. I don't want you ever come back out again. I'll be very upset. Just make sure you won't come back out. You too, buddy. I don't want you coming back out. Sorry if I have my finger in the camera all the time, but should be good now. Take what, 3? At least you don't have leaves in the engine bay anymore. But all right, let me close this up and another quick ride. So all that time when I was thinking we were making more power, we really weren't. There wasn't much of a difference. Honestly, it seemed like, I guess it's like the placebo effect. It seemed like it was not as loud, and it was pulling a little harder. Honestly, I can't even tell at which point like that hose decided to pull off. So maybe it was making some better power, even though it wasn't fully seated in the beginning, and then it just pulled off, and well, that's that. But now that we finally have it set correctly, I didn't realize before, but now it's set correctly. Let's finally see take 3 or whatever take this is. It's mad hot here, I'm sweating, but let's see if that will do the trick. Hopefully, for my sake, for my dad's sake, but more for my sake, because I don't want to be doing anything in that engine bay anymore after like all this driving. Honestly, it's just too hot. And I know like some of y'all probably from other places where you're like, bruh, this weather is not hot at all, but for me, it's hot right now. Anyway, let's go for a drive. Is there a difference or not? I feel like we really got to go on back on that same stretch of road to be able to really tell. Bruh, what are you doing, man? Why would you double park there? You don't even have your hazards on. Yeah, camera battery died again, but dude, honestly, forget what I said before about there being more power and whatnot. Now, definitely, this is like much clearer. I was doubting myself before, but now I am not doubting myself. I was doing some pulls just now. You can feel the power. It definitely came back. It just, the hose needed to be actually on, like not halfway. It needed to be on. When it popped and I realized like, oh, I had done that wrong before, it all made sense. And when I stepped on the gas and I felt that power, like you can feel it. I'll probably go back to that road. I'm not gonna film all the driving back all over again, because I think you guys will get the hint. And honestly, I'm in a bit of a rush. My dad needs to get back the car, so probably not gonna go all that way, but you'll be able to see that definitely this car picked up a lot more steam. It's funny how I don't know if that was apparent at all. It's kind of bumpy, but definitely, man, like this thing is actually throwing me back in my seat. All right, here's the road. Should be able to get a good idea from here. $60 already. You can tell that this car has much more pull now. Honestly, it's a big difference. It's like night and day. Before, like I said, like I thought I felt a little difference, and maybe I felt a little difference at first, like the hose being like halfway on maybe helped marginally, but it's definitely, it's not as loud anymore, and it's just pulling hard. Like that just kicked me back in my seat. As expected, I mean, this engine makes good power. Yeah. Big difference. Big difference for sure. Like I remember I was struggling before to like, it took a while, like I would step down, it was struggling to get up to even 60. But I just stepped in it for like 2 seconds and it flew to 60. So if you have a EcoBoost engine, whether it's in the Ford Explorer or I don't know, I forget what else it comes in, Expedition, I think even the Lincolns probably have it as well, and you have what seems to be a boost leak, or even like, I remember at first I thought it could have been like a transmission issue. If you're just losing a lot of power for no absolute reason, check that piping, because the turbos were not getting any air, or at least it wasn't getting direct air channeled into it. Alright guys, so that solved that. There's definitely more power. The car is not as loud as before, and it literally would hit my head back to the seat as it should, as it was meant to do. So I'm glad, I'm happy, you know, the difference it made. I know it was a little annoying at first, but hey, these things take some time sometimes. But I can't wait for my dad to see the car and for him to realize the night and day difference. That makes me think, guys, like, don't ever ignore the placebo effect when like tuning cars or working on cars. Because if like you do something, if you put a new mod in and you're like, I wonder if it's making more power, but you're like, yeah, it's making more power, but deep down you're like, I'm not too sure, chances are it might just be the placebo effect. Like I know I wasn't completely convinced that like I had more power. I was a little on the edge, or I was questioning it, but there were points where I'm like, yeah, I think I made more power. But it was only until I actually made more power and there was a clear difference that I was like, you know what, forget what I said before. We're making more power now. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Definitely stay tuned for more. We got a lot of cool content coming up, and yeah guys, stay tuned, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and hopefully you enjoy the next video. So thanks guys.